So it tells you already that you're using law of sines. You have two angles and a side. The side is opposite one of those two angles, which means it's not ASA, it's going to be AAS. And if you sketch what you have, and again, it might not be to scale, but if you just put your triangle ABC and label the pieces, A is 37 degrees, C is 70 degrees, and side A, which is opposite angle A, is going to be 14. Okay, so here's the information that's provided in the problem. So your first step is find the missing angle. We take the total sum of 180, subtract the two angles that we have, 70 and 37, and that gives us 73. So there's our three angles, or we can fill in this information. Okay, and so when we're looking for the sides, we expect side B should be the longest side. Side A, 14, should be the smallest side. Okay, and so we know that these two sides here should fall within that range. Okay, so let's take a look and just solve alphabetical order here. Let's solve for B first. So I always start with my unknown at the top left of my equation. So when I set up my law of sines, it's going to be B divided by the sine of the angle opposite B, which is 73 degrees. And we're going to set that equal to the known ratio. In this case, the known ratio is the angle, or the A, the pair of side and angle A. So we start with the side A, 14, over the sine of the angle A, 37. And so this is our solution, or this is our equation. So we can use the solve feature if we want to set this up. Again, this time I'll use the solve feature first. So I'm going to enter my equation, solve. I'm just going to use x this time. So x divided by the sine of 73. I'll put a decimal in there, so my answer is displayed as a decimal, is equal to 14 divided by the sine of 37. Close that off, oops. And then identify that I want to solve for my variable, which I called x. And that's going to give me my my side measure, 22.25 approximately. And that's my side B. Once I have that, I can find my side C now. So I'm going to label this. Side C, we set up the same way. We take our unknown side C over the sine of the angle opposite it, 70 degrees. Set that equal to our known ratio, which is not going to change. It's still 14 over the sine of 37. Okay, and then we're going to solve this. This time I'm going to solve it by hand. If I was doing this by hand, I'd multiply both sides by the sine of 70, so my C is isolated. And when I multiply that through, I get 14 divided by the sine of 37. I'll put a decimal in there. All times the sine of 70. And that's when I get my solution, 21.86. So C is going to be 21.86. Now, again, I'm going to write it here. And what writing it here does is it just allows me to see, is this consistent with what I would expect? My two smaller sides, 14 and 21.86, you add those together, they are greater than my longest side. My longest side is opposite the largest angle. My smallest side is opposite the smallest angle. These two angles are relatively close, so are the lengths opposite them. Again, something that would be consistent for that.